But Shan,
And Shan, here's the thing: if Cameron came up on there on CNN with his high-end vernacular, with his mass communications degree type of talking, do you think he would have went viral? Do you think the video would have went viral? Do you think we would be talking about it right now if he came up there, Viz, and was
fact, we
like,
would have
"Oh
rejected it.
yeah, I'm not going to talk about Diddy. You guys haven't talked about all the great things we're doing on our
I would
podcast and
prefer.
what
I would
Mason's do. I would
prefer.
prefer to talk about what Mason's doing, talking to kids at 5 p.m. every day,
You know what?
instead
You
of
know what
being
we
like,
would
like
do,
fuck that."
Madden. You know what we do? Everybody would say,
What?
"Why the fuck is Cameron talking like that? That ain't him."
Bingo, bingo. Y'all
Does it-
see?
so
Because that's
look,
not who he
It's not-
is. That's
don't get
not
me
how he
wrong, Biz.
moves.
Look, Biz and Darwin, don't get me wrong. I'm simply saying when Marcus say talk white, we know what that means. This doesn't necessarily mean I'm associating myself and speaking like white Caucasians from like European. No, we're not. That's not what we're saying. We're simply saying that that's a term, a colloquial term, to say I'm switching from how I am with my guys over at King Talk and over in the back chat and before the show come on and after the show and when I'm with my niggas at the game versus when I'm in a professional setting and it's in half all the directors and all the vice presidents except for 2% of them is white.
And last
Do you
I
know
checked,
how
look at the-
refreshing
look-
it
look
is?
at the panel.
Do you-
Look at the panel. Look at the panel. Last I checked, we're all black men in America in this country. All of us. So we know code switching better than anybody. So
Yeah,
we're not gonna act
and
brand
how
new.
about this? Do you understand how refreshing it is to be able to go anywhere and be yourself and not have to fraud? Right? This is how he grew up. Like, why do we need to switch? When you have a man like that who can actually say things like it is, do what he wants to do, and on top of that, be successful, and on top of that, doing good things in the community, why is it that we have to switch up? Why don't we make them embrace us the way that we are? Why do we feel like we have to go ahead and conform to what they do? You need to conform. If you want to mess with me, you conform to what I do. Why do we have to go to your spaces and then now we just gotta, like you said, code switch and then conform and kneel to what it is you want us to do? Why can't we just be ourselves? Because most of us don't go home and talk like that, so we be in fraud.
So look,
We used to. So in the black exploitation era, we had a term. We had a language called jive talk.
right.
Oh yeah, I know about jive.
Father, yeah, my
I speak
father
jive.
and Chicago Real is still talking right now to this
Good
day.
evening, y'all jive turkeys.
Hey, but Shannon though, but
What up,
Shannon,
Kenny?
but Shannon. So
Go ahead.
even
Go ahead,
even in those spaces of working with Paramount or any of the networks or whatnot,
Yeah.
white people code switch the way that they talk amongst themselves, or even in the downtime that I have been on set with the majority of white people on set. They cussing and doing and saying all the same shit, but when they're in the office, that's something different. All that I'm saying, all that I'm saying is that there's a time and a place for everything. Again, like I stated, I understand why.
I'm with you on that one, Viz. I got you on that one. I don't want us to drag it on. I'm simply saying that y'all came at Marcus for saying talking white, and y'all specifically was on him because he used that term. I'm simply saying y'all know what he meant by that. Now, in terms of a time and a place, I'm with you on that, Viz.
Right. I only said that because how it, in my opinion, how it comes off to someone that may not be aware of that. So now we're carrying on this thought process that in order for me to look professional or carry myself in a respectable way in public, I have to act white, which is crazy because that's not what it is. It's just you going outside and carrying yourself in a respectable way.
I got you, but see, I think Marcus, when he says that, he's talking to 8 brothers. He's talking to us. And so, so my mother told me one thing. So my mother, she retired from the county of Los Angeles. She used to give out food stamps and all that. She approved them, but it started in the 60s or the 70s. No, she started in the 60s and retired around the late 80s. And she told me that she would go to work. She said all of her friends, the white women in the office, would see her and her sister girls high five and talk and jive, and all the white women would look at her and the black women with the afros and all this in the 70s and would be envious of how the black women talked amongst themselves. And then when they had a board meeting or they had to go to a group environment or they had to go back to their desks, the women would switch up. And so she said that the white women would be jealous on how black people talk to each other because we had our own shit going on. When Marcus is talking to us at King Talk, and he says, man, talking white man, if you go up there, he's talking like white folk. It's odd for me to hear us say, what do you mean? Talking like white folk. When us is supposed to know what that means. I think. That's where I'm at. It's like, I know what he meant. You know what he meant, but y'all are checking him like as if we are at giving a fucking commencement speech or something at Duke University.
So they can't check me because they gonna assimilate and I'm gonna stay myself at the end of the day. So who checking who? You know what I'm saying? And I said assimilate. I said assimilate, right? Meaning take on the characteristics of another group. I ain't even say talking white. I said assimilate and hinted towards it. And then y'all filled in the blank, which further proves the point.
So you didn't say whiteness.
I said assimilate to whiteness. Oh yeah. I take that back. I think I did say assimilate to whiteness. I didn't say talking.
All that I'm saying. All that I'm saying.
Hold on. Let me just. Let me get my point out, Viz. Let me get my point out. Act like the good white man and just be patient.
Come on now. Like, come on.
Come on, man. Assimilate to the white man. But one thing I noticed though is the black people that maintain true to themselves with authenticity, they seem to somehow, if they get involved in corporate America, any of those things, they go further and then they make people assimilate to them. And those people like that.
But that's what I'm like. That's what I'm saying.
When you look at somebody like Meek Mills, when you look at Jay, and you look at all these other people that have moved through. I know, he on the Diddy side right now. I get it. But when you look at the way that people represent themselves as their authentic self, I've never been a white man, so I can't tell. But when I see black people like switching where I know this is how you don't act and you're acting that way, I think it's the same thing as when you see a white dude come to you and be like, "What's up, my man? How you doing, brother?" Doing all of this extra stuff. If I was them, I'd be offended.
Be quick to say he talking black.
He talking black. Yeah, it's a caricature. And to further the point, if you only speak in the most eloquent tone, and yes, everything is this way, and I don't think that's an issue. If that's your voice, that's what I'm saying. Your authentic voice. If that's your authentic voice, I have no problem with that. I'm not saying you talking white. You talk like yourself if that's how you speak. But to ask a man who don't speak like that to start saying, well, yeah, I think the Puff Daddy thing is horrendous. And we need to make sure that we ban against them and we push a new crime bill so we can get some of these super predators off of the streets. I mean, God,
I'm gonna keep it G real.
Okay, so
I got time.
I think we're
taking it to the extreme with
now,
that, bro. Like, come on now.
I'm glad you said it, but I think we're talking about two different things. I think you're talking about.
All right. JR, what we got next? What we got next, JR?
Hey, I'm gonna say this real.
Let me just say one last thing.
Hold on, we're gonna go to Darwin, and then let's see if Kenny P want to add something. And let's move on to the next topic, so we can make sure we.
I was all in agreement, but when you made your voice. I don't know what the term is for that. I don't know if it's changed. It's called changing your pitch to talk proper or talk like you normally wouldn't. I don't think me and Viz was referring to that. I mean, he could still sound like he's from New York or whatever. I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about like, man, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. Like I was talking about that. I wasn't talking about, hey, I don't know where you. I think that's a difference.
Yeah,
if that's what you're talking about, I still stand on what I said at first, because even me, I'm educated and I'm professional, but I don't change the pitch of my voice or the tone of my voice to fit corporate America, or so to speak, or whiteness or whatever you say it is. So that's I just wanted to make that point.
I don't know. We gotta wait till you get that business phone call, and then You're really big to tell what kind of voice you
Yeah,
have.
we want to hear it. Gotta be a
I always
we,
get the
we
business
see
phone.
it. We see it all the time
I
with
got
50
voice
Cent.
Well,
recording.
how you doing,
That's it.
sir?
Is he gonna be Stephen A. Smith or is he gonna be Pee Wee Herman and shit? We got to listen to him on.
Hey, but on some real shit, we see it all the time with 50 Cent. 50 Cent is probably one of the biggest thugs in America, you know what I'm saying, on screen. And 50 knows when to show what side when he's speaking to a specific group. He knows how to not go in there. Oh, like yeah, he's not doing that. You know what I'm saying? He's sitting there and having a conversation with somebody, and he can be dead. He can be throwing jabs at the person in a very kosher, using kosher vocabulary or whatever. It's all that I'm saying is that the bigger picture. I understand what he was doing, but the bigger picture of it, it takes a time and a place. But with saying that I was expecting for him to act white or simulate whiteness, like that's not what I'm saying at all.
All right, we got to go to Kenny P and transition. Go ahead, Kenny.
So pretty much from the gist of what I get, code switching is what the term is that you're trying to elaborate on. Great take, Viz, on how it's done, but I believe you should be able to adapt to any given situation that you're put in, because that helps you maneuver better through rooms where people that a lot of smiling faces, like a lot of, as Shannon would know, I'll call you and give you the 1-2s and all that bull stuff. So I believe there's a necessity for it, just as long as you're defined, you know who you are. You can look in the mirror and be proud of the man and be able to move through these rooms and get what you need to get. It's okay to be the Uncle Tom, but not the Sambo, if you get what I mean. Get the information from these rooms, learn to adapt within it, and bring that home. And I'll leave it there.
That's all that I'm saying. I agree with you 100%.